Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 1 in a series between Maker and Turiel. I am trying to increase the quality of my uploads right now. Please let me know if it does seem to be a bit better. Turiel has spawned as the red Night Elf player over here on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom left, we have Maker spawning as the blue undead. Alright, these files are going to be significantly larger, and that's the reason why I have to pay so much for my upload speeds. But hopefully these 3 GB files will end up turning out to be higher quality for you, and I'll let Google and YouTube handle the proper compression so that things look a little bit better for you guys. Anyways, what are we going to expect in this Night Elf vs Undead matchup after we have just seen Maker take out Lucifer in a 1v1 matchup in a best of 1? So perhaps a little bit of a surprise, Maker being able to get past Lucifer so quickly as he now moves on. Alright, down across here, it looks like as though it will be a Demon Hunter going up against a Death Knight. No big surprise there whatsoever. What I am curious about is what type of opening Maker is going to try and go. He could try and go for those early ghouls with Unholy Aura, but that has really fallen out of favor. And I would say over the past 4 to 6 months, it is not a strategy that a lot of professional players really like to use anymore, as we're going to see that Archer most likely move and then just deal damage back to that Renegade Wizard. Demon Hunter here ready to finish things up, taking down some of those rogues, picking up a Tome of Intelligence, and now looking to finish off this Renegade Wizard here. Alright, Archer gonna proc those units, pull them over, as the Ancient of War will be able to get in position right there, right now. Meanwhile, back down to the south, we see Maker doing pretty much the same exact thing, only with ghouls. He does have a Rod of Necromancy, but has not used a charge yet. He has also gone for Unholy Aura first, as opposed to, say, trying to go for a Death Coil first. He will have to clear out one of these creeps here to get to level 2 and get that Death Coil, something that is absolutely necessary for that Death Knight to really try and protect and also deal damage to those units. Alright, are we going to see a Death Coil here? I would have expected a Death Coil onto that Wisp, and no, we are going to see a Mana Burn instead. No, nothing of that nature at all. The Death Knight could just try and get within range, just Death Coil it, and let it be done. No, he is actually wasting a lot of time just trying to chase, as we now see an Archer getting bashed in the back. All right, this Archer across over here, just turn around and take that down. That is going to be an easy shot, as well as, oh wait, that's right, the Death Knight does not have Death Coil. It was, well, it was sitting at level 1. Alright, a little bit my mistake there. If he could have, he would have, as a Death Coil does go down onto that Ghoul. Alright, early Ghoul rush here, and I do not believe Turiel was ready for this at all. Alright, beautiful positioning onto some of these units, as well as the Demon Hunter does get a Mana Burn off onto that Death Knight. Death Knight now trying to finish off some of these units, but the Moonwells are getting cleared up rather quickly. No Dust of Appearance. This is actually going to be a bit of an uphill battle if these units start to try and Shadow Meld. Alright, Ghoul is going to try and push these units away, as the Unholy Aura is allowing these units to move slightly faster. Back down across over here, what is happening? Skeletal Minions off to the north. One Archer trying to get away, and is it going to Shadow Meld in time? Yes, it will, as the Death Knight does not have that Dust of Appearance. Alright, Ghouls need to get away. Ghoul now trying to head back here. Demon Hunter going to chase after that Ghoul, as the Archer perhaps going to try and chase that unit there. Alright, Archer, is it going to Shadow Meld? No, it's not. It is just going to drain all of these Moonwells again, as this one low hit point Ghoul does get felled at the hands of the Demon Hunter. So far, though, still interesting fight here. We can see that all of these Archers finally getting taken down there. Death Knight, Dust of Appearance. Oh, it was not even nearby at all. That one was already moved. He purchased a reveal and didn't even spot anything there. 50 gold wasted, as the Ghouls are now continuing to go after more and more units. All right, there goes a Wisp as well. Death Knight still sitting at level 2. Trying to get to level 3. It looks as though a Wisp is going to get taken out, as well as the Skeletal Minions are joining in on this fight. Alright, Goblin Shredder 34 to 61 damage. Very, very high damage indeed. Perhaps getting in a good surround could potentially be a problem, as that one Goblin Shredder is down to 328 hit points already. Goblin Shredder trying to run away, but is constantly taking damage and getting boxed in and outmaneuvered by this Death Knight. All right, are we going to see the Death Knight? Yeah, the Death Knight is going to try and finish things off. Yes, level 3 on the Death Knight by Maker before he teleports away. Demon Hunter now heading back down to the south. Death Knight sitting at level 3. What is he going to pick up? Well, he needs to be able to heal up significantly. He is still getting up a graveyard. No slaughterhouse, as we are at Halls of the Dead. All right, Death Knight now wandering back off to the north, sitting at 58, 59, and Naga Sea Witch has been joining in on this fight. Is that Ghoul going to be able to catch up in time? He should be able to, as the Archer now try to run back away. All right, low hit point Ghoul. There, it gets taken down. Naga Sea Witch now being added as well, as the Naga Sea Witch could get surrounded. This is a horrible spot for the Naga Sea Witch to be in, trying to get away. Unholy Aura plus Cold Arrows is just an absolute nightmare, as the Naga Sea Witch gets taken down. Maker doing a great job shutting down the Night Elf so far, as we are now looking at a 27 over 50 supply army for the Night Elf player compared to 27 over 40 for Maker. Heroes are getting resurrected. Death Knight is sitting at level 3. Level 2 Death Coil could spell very big problems, as the Archer is now trying to head back there. All right, Demon Hunter quickly gets Death Coiled. He is now trying to heal back up, and the Demon Hunter could end up getting surrounded. A beautiful detonation right there. Naga Sea Witch getting in some cold arrows, trying to prevent the run away, as the Death Knight now down to 25 mana, unable to do very much. There are still Moonwells to go. Naga Sea Witch now joins in on the fight, turns things back around, as the Ghouls are going to try and surround a Naga Sea Witch again. So difficult to try and finish off any of those units. Potion of Healing now given to the Naga Sea Witch. Death Knight does not have any more mana. Is it going to be able to finish off the Naga Sea Witch a second time in as many minutes? I do not believe so. Goblin Zeppelin should be nearby. Where is it? It is on the other side, and the Death Knight is going to be unable to get to that Naga Sea Witch. Beautiful save right there. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter looks as though it did get the kill, as now we are going to see a small engagement here. All right, low hit point Ghoul now needs to get away, down to 84 hit points. Naga Sea Witch trying to fly back, as we are looking at the Demon Hunter looking to finish off this Ghoul and perhaps get to level 3 with that all-important level 2 mana burn. Level 2 mana burn is on the table. This is going to be extremely bad news, as Maker is not going to be able to really cast all of the necessary spells that he wants to. Naga Sea Witch currently getting resurrected. Ghoul back onto Blight, running straight inside the base here. No Nerubian towers at all, as a slaughterhouse is nearing completion. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Death Knight now tried to slow things down a bit. He is going to be a little bit worse for wear, as the Naga Sea Witch and Goblin Shredder shoo him back home. Back to the south here, more Crypt Fiends are added. Let's take a look. 31 over 40 supply compared to 24 over 50. Both sides losing lots of units. Unable to save them. Skeletal Minions going to give even more experience to the Demon Hunter and the Naga Sea Witch, but both of them are relatively not far on their current journeys to the next level. Naga Sea Witch still sitting at level 1. Death Knight still sitting at 3, as they look to clear up and finish this creep camp. 34 over 40 supply with 400 gold in the bank about. 28 over 50 with 500 gold in the bank about. So far, we are still pretty much even in terms of overall pacing, as both of these players need to engage against each other in the proper location and in the proper context. If the Death Knight is able to perhaps pick off a unit or two, that is going to greatly shift all of these issues, as we see Obsidian Statue trying to get away. Demon Hunter wandering straight through, and that is just in a bad spot continually. The Demon Hunter is pretty much absorbing and taking free damage before finally getting picked up by the Goblin Zeppelin. Goblin Zeppelin does get one cold arrow off before it can shake it off and tries to get away. Let's take a look. Naga Sea Witch and Demon Hunter both need to be let go. in order to get some rejuvenations once the adept training is done. Adept training about 50% done so far. Meanwhile, Naga Sea Witch looking to finish off the Sasquatch here. Death Knight going to be sitting at level 3. We could be getting some Fork Lightning as well. And a replenishment potion is dropped. Should quickly be used, as you always need more hit points and mana on that Death Knight, especially as that Death Knight is currently low on both. Alright, not quite sure why it's not being used just quite yet. 300 hit points would be nice. A little bit more mana. There you go. There's that rejuvenation. And will that Death Knight be able to get up maybe up to 225 mana? That would be the key critical number for being able to get multiple Death Coils. All right, there is a bear in transit. All right, beautiful Goblin Zeppelin pickup. As we now see another bear right there. It is going to get picked up as well. Death Knight still has more and more mana being regenerated, already up to 800, as we now have the Ancient of Wonders getting taken down. Death Knight, oh, Demon Hunter, long distance Death Coil from the Death Knight, and there is the GG. Maker taking game number 1 in this series. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, hope you guys enjoyed it.